So I've been playing this new Age of Empires 3, the definitive edition on Steam, and it's pretty cool. It has better graphics, a better intro, better music, and two new civs, two new civilizations. One's the Swedes and one's the Incas. I haven't touched the Swedes yet, really, but I've been playing the Incas, trying to figure them out. They're pretty complicated, and this video is basically going to try and teach you how to play the Incas. Right now I'm just playing a game against the computer, so I can show everything without getting attacked. The graphics are a lot better. You need a lot stronger of a computer to play this. There's a lot of changes, like with the Treasure Guardians when you're playing the natives, you can't just tame any Treasure Guardian you want. It has to only be the human ones. But on the upside, when you tame a human Treasure Guardian, it's like a regular unit. It's not just a unit that's good against other Treasure Guardians. It actually is useful in the battle against your opponent. They're like regular fighting units once you tame them, but you don't get them as often. And you can't get this massive Treasure Guardian army like before. So I got my town built up with the War Hut, the Kalanka, and the Tukara Pukara, which is basically the Inca fort. What I've noticed is that the units are a lot like the Aztec units. You get the Plume Spearman, which is basically the Puma Spearman. The Chimu Runner is basically the Coyote Runner. The Elite Huarakra is basically the Arrow Knight. And the Elite Maceman is a lot like the Skull Knight. One big difference, which I like a lot, is that the Elite Maceman can just be produced from their elite building. With the Aztecs, you have to send your Skull Knights with cards, or get them with age ups, or you have to make them from your dancing circle. With the Incas, you can just make these Elite Macemen from your building, from your Kalanka, which is really cool. You can just get them a lot faster when you need them. One cool thing is if you send your Cloud Fortresses card from your home city, you can make your war huts and your fort stealth. You can make them go invisible. They won't fire on the enemy while they're stealth, though. They won't do any kind of attack on them. They'll just sit there unnoticed. But you can queue up units inside them while the enemy doesn't even realize they're there. Your units can be making right there in front of them and they wouldn't even know it. The Priestesses are the Inca healers, and they seem to have a lot of ways which they can be advanced and improved upon. Like they can gather crates and treasures, and they can fight. But I haven't really tried them out that much in the games. The Kalanka is very useful if you want to go over your population limit. Because when you make units in the Kalanka, they can actually summon to the Kalanka itself and stay in there. And units that can actually be garrisoned in there. Units that are outside already can actually go inside the Kalanka. And when that happens, their population cost disappears. So, as the Incas, if you have a couple Kalankas, you can basically population surge like you did with the Aztecs back in the day. I don't think it'll be as dangerous as the Aztec population surge, where you reached your limit, then you pressed all your big buttons and the units just came out anyway, and you could have like 300 some population on the Aztecs because you used all your big buttons at once and you just swarmed the enemy. I used to do that a lot with the Aztecs. But this Kalanka lets the Incas population surge a little bit by basically hiding these units inside the Kalanka and having them disappear from the population cost. It's kind of interesting. So here I am in the deck builder again. I'm making a new deck that's going to be anti-rush. Because I play a lot of non-treaty games, and they come in really early and just try to wipe me out. They attack my villagers, so I'm trying to make some kind of defense against early rushes. So I'm building up my building hit points. Let's see, that thing's a dance circle thing. It allows you, community plaza I think it's called, not a dance circle, but this makes your buildings have stronger attack if you have dancers. That could be useful. I could turn that into something. This makes your poison worse. Makes your jungle bowmen have worse poison. That sounds really cool. Kuari. Interesting thing in history, I heard the Caribs actually had nerve toxin. That's a really weird thing. Like I read this book called Isabella the Warrior Queen, and some of the Indians that fought Columbus's men actually had neurotoxin, dude. I didn't even know that until I read this book. That's not important though. What am I talking about? So I'm in the Age 4 deck builder. Nothing here really helps against rush too much, but you gotta pick something. Something I noticed that's really strange, they got this thing called the Son of Inti. That's an age 4 like war chief improvement. That's like the explorer for the Incas. It's like age 4 and it improves him. That's got to be really powerful. I'm going to have to try that one out. That sounds really good. And you got to wait to age 4 to get your cloud warriors too, which gives them stealth. That's kind of late in the game, but apparently it doesn't slow down their movement, so they're stealthy, and they're stealthy but they're not slower, so which is maybe a little better than the Aztecs, who knows. So I'm off to play a game. I'm gonna kick somebody's ass on the internet and show you how I did it. Will I do it on the first try? You'll never know. So I played this guy named Adachi on Kamchatka. He was playing the Portuguese, and we had like one hell of a game. It was pretty interesting. I didn't actually end up winning it, but I tore him up with the Incas. It was pretty good, but he ended up winning because he revolted, and I didn't actually understand how revolt works in the new game version. Revolt is really powerful now. It used to be a real gamble. Your timing had to be perfect to win with revolt, but this guy was able to what I didn't know, he was able to make more villagers after he revolted, and he was getting free units. So revolt is like really powerful apparently. I didn't know that, but I'll just show you the gameplay. I ended up putting this Quipu Kamayuk's card in my deck. It's pretty good. What it does is give additional hit points to units that are fighting near tambos. Tambos are basically the outposts. They're basically the native trading post, and they're the economy trading posts. So you get a hit point boost anytime your units are fighting near there. It's really good. So I end up building this strong point right next to a tambo, figuring I'll just fight my first fight with the enemy here as he probably comes through. I got scouts watching the north in case he attacks my town from the side. And I do pretty good when the first time he marches through. I do really good. My buildings are really strong. Inca buildings are really tough. They actually are really effective. And they're hard to tear down, as this game proved to me. Even the tambo, all Inca tambos shoot, even if you don't have any cards or anything. They all have a little arrow firing out of it. It doesn't do much maybe, but I was really satisfied with the results in this first fight. Then I started to push in on his town after this. So I make a push on his town, and I do okay in the fight, but I realize it's too much of a strong point. He's got a castle right back there. And so I just pull back and realize I have to come back with Elite Huarakra, which are basically the Inca Arrow Knights, so I can tear his castle down. So I back off and I regroup. I got the Elite Huarakra off to the left, so I can attack his castle or attack cannons if they get in my way. And it turns out, I even got him numbered. He's got cannons, and so I start targeting them. He's got his little Portuguese organ guns right there. I take one out, and I target the other one, takes the other one out really fast. Works really good. Takes the other one out, quick. And I get almost all his cannons like, pretty fast, but he has a big army there. That's expensive. Losing a lot of cannons is pretty expensive. I'm losing a lot of my Huarakra. See, I took out another one, but it took longer. And I can't remember if I got the last one or not. But I'm doing okay, and the fight's okay, but he's still got a castle there. I'm actually kind of beating him up. But I said to go back. I'm going to regroup. So in my last push on his town, something happened where I thought I had won for sure. I thought I had definitely won the game. He actually declares a revolt, which is something that is actually very hard to do and win. You have to manage it like perfectly. My Huarakra is off to my left. Actually, you're right. It's up. It's looking at the screen. It's to the right. It's to the left of my troops. But the Huarakra is off to the screen's right again. But I'm kind of running him around there. It's kind of stupid. But I'm still attacking his cannons, and that's working really well. I decided I'm going to stay there. I'm not going to retreat. I'm going to keep fighting. So I'm going to queuing units to join in on the fight. I want to overwhelm this dude. That's my goal now. I think I might be able to push through here, tear down his castle, and start tearing up buildings, right? That's my goal. And I got these mercenary Jesuit riders, or whatever you call them. So I'm fighting, and it seems like I got numbers. I got him kind of beat down. Trying to beat down his castle. and he revolts. This is actually, see, here he goes, revolted. And I think, oh, that's stupid. He's got all these colonial militia. I'm going to back up to my strong point. I'm going to wear him down. Because I'm thinking that this is like, you know, classical Age of Empires, where if you revolt, you get really, your resources are sort of cut off, and you just, all your villagers turn into Minutemen, but it's really hard to get resources once you revolt. But this, that's what I thought I was playing against the whole time. I thought I would just wear them down, but I'll just make a lot of units. I'll keep my resources going, and I'll just keep making units, stuff on my strong point. Here he comes, and I think there's gonna be one strong surge, and if I beat that, I win. I'm gonna beat this guy. That's what I thought. Anyway. He walks a bunch of guys right through my strong point, and I think he's going for my resources. So I'm thinking, okay, he's desperate. He's got to do something, and it's not going to work because I have war huts back home. I see him going, so I start making units there. I'm thinking, this ain't going to work for him. It's not going to work out. I got some guys over there already. And okay, I'm just going to keep making units. My buildings are holding up, man. Look at how those buildings are just taking all this punishment. It works really good. The Inca buildings are badass. When you get all the cards that make them stronger, give them more hit points. Inca buildings are really good. That's something you really... if you want to defend, Incas are like one of the best. I figured that out. So this guy comes in with another wave, and I start thinking, okay, something's happening here. He's got a lot of resources built up, and he can just keep coming for a while. So okay, I'll just keep playing. I'll keep trying to beat him off. Wait a minute, that sounded weird, but I'll keep trying to fight him and wear him down. Like my original plan. Like, man, there's a lot of guys coming. It's still. So this goes on for a really long time, and he attacks both my town by slipping through, coming off to the side, and hitting up the center. He starts bringing mortars, and he eventually does destroy my strong point. And he just keeps on pushing, and just with all these troops, even though I'm fighting him really well, I'm doing a good job of like attacking his troops and stuff. He just like this endless assault of colonial militia, cannons, Gatling guns eventually join in. It just goes on forever. And I'm thinking something is up. Something has changed about the revolt. There's something different. So at least I got to try out this son of Inti before I surrendered. I did a swashbuckler attack on a bunch of his colonial militia. Knocked over a whole bunch of them. See that right there? Yeah, he's really good. That age 4 upgrade you give him, son of Inti, whatever. But I got overwhelmed, and I eventually resigned, and I had some questions for the guy. So after I resign, I see that this guy's still got villagers working his farms. And I'm asking him questions, and we have this big text conversation. He's explaining to me how Revolt works in the new definitive edition. And apparently there's cards where allows you to keep on making villagers, and then you get free units. Like every so long, you just get like free soldiers, you know, and he's able to keep up this stream of guys that was able to overwhelm me. It's totally different. Revolt is a lot more powerful. That's what he was telling me. It's really good now. It's not like throwing the game away like it used to be. The good news is that in all that fighting, I killed him at slightly more than a 2-to-1 ratio. So I'm pretty much ready to take people on with the Incas. I can tear people up, I know that.